I was never really worried about him beating the cancer, cause like if you in the presence of somebody like that, they don't give you a reason to worry.
Gotcha.
They make you feel like it's gonna be okay. All right. Come to find out though, she had a girlfriend that lived in Miami, like a whole girlfriend.
Wait. Are you saying like how girls say girlfriend, or
No,
you
no,
talking
no,
about?
no, no. She had a girlfriend that lived in Miami at the time that she was talking to me. People like to blame God when stuff go wrong. God, why you let this happen? But who's to say that it wasn't meant to happen? You know what I mean? 3 weeks of taking her to chemo. All right, so now when I get back, I haven't seen my mom in like 3 weeks. So now I'm noticing her skin getting darker, starting to see little signs of health. Now the cancer looks starting to take
Right.
effect. So when I
Right.
seen her for the first time in like a couple weeks, I was like,
When we first met,
man,
we knew
long
each
time.
other. We knew each other because I remember when I was living in Birmingham, I didn't really know you. But it's like as soon as I moved here, I knew. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like we met somewhere, maybe like at church or something.
yeah. It's bro. You know what's crazy? When
What?
I seen your mom showed us a picture
Mm-hmm.
of her at, I think she had you. She had you with her. She was at my grandparents' house.
Mm-hmm.
So when she showed us that picture, in my mind it's just like it was always just
Yeah.
connected. Like,
Wait, when I was little, I was
yeah,
really.
you was like a baby, and she had
Oh,
you. Y'all was at my
I
grandparents'
got you.
house, so I was like, at that point, it's like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. We've been knowing each other longer than we knew.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So
But this is my dog, man.
yeah,
We
for sure.
we came up from a lot of stuff and have done a lot of stuff together and kind of been tied for a long time.
Yeah,
Um, but yeah, I got Isaac West with me. He ain't really no social media content creator or nothing like that. So I'm
nah,
gonna put his socials in there, but you
yeah,
probably ain't gonna get no posts for about.
yeah,
You might get a story or two,
yeah.
but
Here and there,
huh?
here and there.
Yeah. But yeah, I got Isaac. I got my dog here, and I just think that your story and and even honestly, I don't know the full magnitude of your story, but I
Hmm.
know certain pieces of it. But I think your story can help a lot of people and give a lot of people that may be from your background a certain
Yeah,
perspective that they may not have had before
yeah.
they listen to this. And so I'm gonna start with this question again. Um, have you ever doubted God, or have you ever had a thought or inkling of a thought that God is not real, or I don't know if this Jesus stuff that my church be talking about
Yeah.
has validity to it. And if you have, what happened to make you think like that, and what changed it back? If you have.
Yeah. I'm gonna say no.
Mm-hmm.
It was never a doubt of if God is real.
Mm-hmm.
Now I had my moments like
Low moments.
if he rocking with me,
Right.
you know,
Right.
but never like I've never had like a is God real?
Okay. So with that, with your, let's just say your low moments,
Yeah.
is he rocking with me? What happened to make you feel like that or have those thoughts?
Um, I'm gonna be honest. It was, I know now it was ignorance, like just cause you think if you doing some stuff ain't supposed to happen. Like, okay, well let me explain it all the way.
Mm-hmm.
We feel like if we reading our Bible and we praying a little bit,
Hey.
stuff like that,
Okay.
like nothing's supposed to happen to us, and God shouldn't let this happen and this shouldn't happen. We
Right.
just be thinking like everything's so transactional.
Gotcha.
And so for me, I had my little moment where, and we'll probably get in depth later,
Mm-hmm.
so I ain't gonna spill all of it, but
Mm-hmm.
I had my little moment where I'm like God, you know, I'm with you, like I'm in there,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I'm reading,
I'm doing the
I'm
stuff.
praying, yeah, I'm doing the stuff, like
Right.
you like you ain't gonna you ain't gonna stop this from happening, or
Right.
you ain't gonna. So
So
yeah,
so you felt like he wasn't holding up his end.
oh, I definitely did not. I was like, bro, what's up, like, Yeah.
So you believe that holding up your end consists of what like church people told you you need to be doing,
Yeah.
praying, reading the Bible,
Yeah.
maybe fast here and there, whatever,
Right. Exactly.
and being good to people.
Yeah.
And that's me holding up my end.
Mhm.
So why is this happening to me?
Yeah.
So like you said, it wasn't reciprocated. So like you said, we're gonna get into it, but with you getting to that moment where, or those moments where you felt like that, what, very briefly, like what made you come out of it, of those moments where you was upset? And if it's specific, then you can just broaden it until we get back to it. But
Yeah.
what made you, like, what was the feeling, what was the environment that made you be like, nah, I was tripping?
Um. So honestly, bro, my wife at the time, she wasn't my wife then, but
Right.
I was talking to her about the situation,
Hmm.
and I was like, felt like I was sacrificing something, and she told me, she was like, "You not, what are you sacrificing? You not sacrificing nothing." And I was like, "What you mean?" Like I was getting upset with her. I was
Right.
like,
I'm doing
"You
all
like
right.
you know what I'm doing? Like
Yeah,
what do
yeah,
you
yeah,
mean?"
yeah.
And then that was one of the things. And then as I started learning more like about who God really is and how He really worked, then my understanding changed, and I was like, "Oh, so it ain't always just so transactional." So it mostly understanding.
Okay.
But shout out to her too, cause she even told me back then, like, "Nah, bro, it ain't what you think it is."
Right.
So shout out to her
Right, right.
for
That's
that.
real.
Yeah.
That's real. Okay. So yeah, we gonna get into some of your story and your life and stuff like that. So what was like your upbringing? What was your environment? What was it like? With your parents. What was it like? Siblings, whatever it is. What
Yeah.
was all of that like in your childhood? And we
Yeah.
can talk about adolescence and older, but childhood, how was that for you?
Yeah. So I mean, my parents got divorced at 6 when I was 6, so super young. So I never really got the two-parent household. That was pretty. Or that was over pretty early.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously live with my mom and my grandma, and a lot of times my cousins, and you know how a lot of people be in one house.
Yes.
That was my family, a
Yes.
bunch of people in one house.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and we struggled. We didn't have a whole lot, but we made do.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but it wasn't bad. Like I ain't gonna say it was bad, but it wasn't the best. You know what I mean? But like my family was like, we loved each other. We just had a weird way of showing love. Like
Like what?
it
What you can
wasn't
you give
it
me an
wasn't
example?
huggy and kissy. It wasn't like that. The way we showed love was like, if somebody mess with you, like, and we know about it, like we finna get at it. That was how we bonded. Like that's how we showed. It is weird, but that's how we showed love.
Right.
Like
So so was it more so like you have to wait on that opportunity to show the love, but y'all wasn't necessarily like pushing to remind I love you.
yeah, yeah, it wasn't like that. It wasn't
Uh
just walk around like, hey, I love you and all that hugging and kissing stuff. But the moment you knew, cause if somebody messing with
right,
somebody and we find out,
right,
like yeah, it's on. You know what I'm saying?
right,
But
right, right, right.
so that was how I knew. I was like, okay, that's our way of showing love, and it was odd, but but
Yeah.
hey, we made it work.
Right,
We made it
right,
work. Yeah.
right. So what was something that is there like a certain situation in your childhood that you feel like, or an experience that you feel like sums up what it was like for you from your perspective, like this certain story,
As far as love,
not necessarily love,
oh,
but like how it was coming up. I mean, you can use that example of love, but
gotcha.
how it was coming up for you as a child. Is there one story that you can give us that kind of explains and allows us to sit as you was to feel how it was coming up for you? Like you said, it probably wasn't bad or good,
Yeah.
necessarily bad or good in that way. But what would we feel if we was you? Like, give us a story.
Um. So like, okay, so we had one of the families where grandma was like the what they call it, the matriarch. So uh long as granny at home, let everything good.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Mhm.
She keep all the peace or whatever.
Mhm.
But let's just say if granny gotta go to work, you know, some chaos might ensue. You know what I
Right.
mean? While granny gone,
What you mean
like
chaos?
like like
Uh,
uncles might get to tripping.
right.
You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
stuff like that.
Typical hood
Yeah,
junk.
yeah,
Yeah.
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 Uncle them might get to
Yeah.
tripping. Granddad might, whatever.
Yeah.
Um, then you probably ain't gonna. I ain't gonna lie. Granny gone. Probably ain't finna. Nobody probably ain't finna cook till Granny get back.
Wow. Okay.
So gotta wait till Granny come back. She
Right.
gon' then she gonna cook a little something.
Right.
Now everybody eat. Everybody chilling. We might laugh here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Family crack on each
Yeah.
other.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's another way we show a little cracking
Jank
on
it.
each
Yeah.
other.
Yeah.
I don't know why black families do that,
I don't know.
but
But I feel like that's universal though.
yeah, yeah,
I don't feel like I just feel like our way of janking and cracking on each other,
it
it be kind of extreme. It'd be like, dog, why would you
yes,
say that?
yes. And the whole time is love,
It be
which is
real,
which is weird.
genuine love,
Yes,
bro.
bro. Yes,
I see you got your teeth done, but I'm finna work you
yes.
because you shouldn't look that good. That's crazy, bro.
That's crazy.
But that's how we do. That's
Yeah,
how we do, and we know it's love.
exactly.
Other people may be like, "Why you talking? You need to get there." Oh, I'm good. It's love.
Yeah.
So you feel like you was in one of them environments. Do you feel like you would probably knowing what you know and having a certain understanding? You feel like you need therapy or needed therapy?
Um. Yeah, I think because it's so much stuff that you see that I saw, and I found this to be true as I got older. You push so much stuff down to the point where you don't remember it no more. The only way that you get it out is if something happened, or if somebody asks you to talk about it. A lot of times we don't want to talk about it. That's why people don't want to go to therapy, honestly. Because what a therapist do? Sit there and make you
Dig.
talk. So
Yes.
and I found that out later how much stuff that we just bury over time. So I would say yeah. I would say yeah.
Right. Because you feel like there may be some things that not necessarily that you may have necessarily forgot, but maybe need to revisit to
Yeah.
see if it has any implications as to why you are how you are, if it's
Yeah.
something
Or
that you need.
just get it out. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
For sure.
Nah, that's real. That's real. Okay, so um, you said your parents divorced at a young age.
Hmm.
Do you feel like that played on your behavior? Was you a bad kid?
No.
You was chilling.
Chilling.
Do you feel like your parents divorcing at a young age? Because I see a lot of times with certain people, for most people that I've grown up with, like if they have a certain behavioral problem
Yeah.
and you trace it back,
Yeah.
they had some parent troubles too,
Yeah.
or they may have had both parents, but both parents went in the house. You
Hmm.
know what I mean? Do you feel like some of the mental struggles that you may have dealt with came from a result of as a result of that?
Um. No, I don't think so, because like my dad was still he was still like
Present.
present to the point where like I could call him if I wanted to talk to him, if I wanted to come over, you know
Gotcha.
what I mean? So it was like even though they was divorced, it didn't feel like I was missing nothing
I
in
got you.
in that aspect.
They were still both very present for you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
just not towards each other in that
yeah,
way.
and I don't for some reason that didn't really bother me. I don't know why.
Bro,
It didn't
that's a
really
blessing.
bother me. Yeah, that's a blessing. Yeah.
That's a blessing. Okay. Well, that's no, that's good. Okay, so you come up and you just have what you feel like the run of a mill childhood, just normal,
Yeah.
going through as a black child, whatever. Um, your dad at the time of your childhood, was he elder or minister or something like that?
Yeah, I think he was a minister around that time,
Right.
around the 6 years old mark.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think he ended up becoming a pastor when I was about maybe like 12 or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Okay, so how was it being like a preacher's kid per se? Like what was
Yeah.
your life um when you were with him, like going to church, or your mindset, or
Yeah.
what you noticed that you didn't like or that you did like? What was that going growing
Yeah,
up?
I mean, it wasn't bad. It just you already had these expectations from other people that you not supposed to do X, Y, and Z. And
Mm-hmm.
I was my granddad too. My granddad, my granddad, not to boast, but my granddad had like a legacy already. People
For
still
sure.
talk about my granddad to this
To
day.
to this day.
So my granddad was already established
Mm-hmm.
in that church setting that we was in. And so then my dad, he was also a pastor. So me, like I got granddad, dad, and it's me. So people either saying like you next, or they don't expect me to do nothing because they gonna say, boy, your granddad was, boy, your dad. And
So how that
so
make you feel?
I ain't really like it, to be honest, because I mean you can't, like, don't just start putting stuff on me. You know what I
Right.
mean? And I remember when Pastor Griggs talked to me, he said, "Don't let nobody put that on you."
Mhm.
And I was like, "Okay,
They gave you the confidence to
yeah."
be, yeah.
Cause after he told me that, I was like, "Well, I don't have to listen to what they
Mm-hmm.
saying and stuff." But with that too, also, like, my dad was protective of his reputation, so he used to tell me not to do certain stuff because it was reflective of him,
Gotcha.
and I understood. But sometimes it was also like, dang, bro, I can't be worried about you all the time,
Right. I'm me.
Yeah.
Right.
But I understand.
Right. Okay. Okay. So like you said about your granddad, like he got a huge legacy. Like you said,
Hmm.
he's still bleeding over into our time period where people
Yeah.
talk about him.
Yeah.
Uh, did you spend a lot of time with him, or was it like you didn't get to experience much?
Nah, he died when I was 6 as well in
Mm,
2002. So and it's crazy. I have a memory of me and my cousin at my grandma's house, like, watching the show Cops with my granddad. But that's the only memory I have of him.
mm,
But I still have that memory, so it's actually kind of cool because I've always kept that memory.
right.
But that's like the only one I have, like, because he died when I was young, so that's
So
all I have.
do you feel pressure to, because I know you hear and you feel it
Oh yeah,
from other people. Do you feel any pressure, not necessarily to be religiously affiliated,
yeah,
but successfully, you know, accolades,
yeah.
building a legacy and whatever? Do you feel pressure from that because of the legacy of your granddad in any way?
Uh, Sometimes spiritually I do. Like, if I think about it, like, when I if I think on the stuff I hit, because people talk to me about my granddad. Like, they tell me stories, and sometimes I be like, wow, like, you talking about 2002, this 25, you talking about 23 years later. And some of these people right now today, if you ask them about my granddad, they will go on and on and on. So if I think about it, if I sit down and think about it, I'd be like, man,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes I be like, dang, I wanna make
Right.
them proud.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, sometimes I do feel a little pressure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So, you got siblings?
Yeah.
Uh
I
huh.
got I got a sister and I got a big brother.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you your is your sister younger than you, or she's older?
My sister 3 years older than me.
So you're the youngest.
Yeah.
So how is it being the youngest child? Was it any different than like the stereotypes of younger children, like being spoiled, not getting as much chastisement? Do you feel like that was
Um,
your experience?
no, cause my daddy, that boy, then he ain't
Everybody caught it.
everybody, but he ain't play with me. Like, he ain't what
So
they
you feel
say.
like it was more strict on you?
Oh yeah, oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, like,
Uh,
he instilled that discipline in me. Like, I didn't get a chance to really just, what I'm saying, get no break. Like, I remember one time I was just playing with my sister. Like, I snatched her candy out of her hand. I was
mhm.
just playing. I was finna give it back. I ain't even had time to give it
Give
back.
it back.
I got a whooping. So it was like, yeah,
That rough, bro.
that man didn't play.
Yeah.
So nah, I wasn't spoiled in the least. I
Okay.
wouldn't say.
Okay. Okay. Um. So yeah, and I know at this time we would hang out every now and then whenever
Hmm.
our parents would get together or whenever we saw each other.
Yeah.
But I want to kind of go this way because I want to kind of relate to people who may deal with loved ones who they lost
Hmm.
with cuz.
Yeah.
Um, and so you lost your cousin um at a young well,
Yeah.
I mean you still young, but
Right.
younger than you are
Yeah. Yeah.
now,
Yeah.
and he was young.
Yeah.
What happened with that, and what was that like going through that situation? Because me knowing you, I've seen you always been around or
Yeah.
been there to care for people who may have been, your family or whatever that's going through certain difficulties like that, whether they may be passing on or whether they may be sick or whatever. How
Yeah.
was that situation? What happened to him, and how was that?
Yeah. So it actually was my
Your
nephew
nephew.
by marriage.
Yeah.
This was my dad. He got when he got remarried.
Right.
So I ended up having the oldest stepbrother that was like probably 10 plus years older than me. He had a son that ended up being a year younger than me.
Right.
So we more like brothers at this point.
Right.
Technically it's nephew, but this like my brother.
Bro, I remember the YMCA bowls. I remember the senior bowls. We was there out in
Yeah.
front of lad throwing footballs and
Yes.
having fun all the time.
Yes.
Y'all was like brothers.
We was like brothers. Like
So
one
yeah.
year apart. But so what happened to him,
Mhm.
he ended up getting leukemia, which is
Mhm.
a form of cancer.
Mhm.
And so he was 13 at the time I was 14. So and bro, this situation like broke me, bro. Cause so he was going through the treatments and stuff, and like, bro, you talking about somebody that was so strong. Like, I'm talking about you can't even tell who got cancer for real. Like, if you was to walk in the room, like in the
Mhm.
hospital room, I'm talking about you would be like, who sick? Like, if you don't see him laying in the bed,
Exactly.
you would be like, who got cancer? I'm talking about full of life, like full of joy. This man got girls up there, and no lie, bro. No lie, I kid you not. This man got girls coming to see him
Right.
in the room. This man eating rib, like his grandparents
Yeah.
bringing him rib
Yeah. Yeah.
plates, and this man up in there playing the keyboard because he was a musician too,
Mhm.
or learning this stuff.
Mhm.
This man in there playing the keyboard,
Doing it big.
just everything. Like this, he was inspiring me.
Right.
Like how you inspiring somebody with cancer?
Mhm.
That don't make no sense. Like, and so so in the summertime before he passed, this like June, probably like June, July-ish. So I remember he was in the hospital and they asked me did I want to spend a night, and I was nervous to spend a night because
At
I
the
ain't
hospital.
like this all new to me, right? So I was like, I don't know. So then I went and spent one night, bro. We had so much fun that night. So look, I spent basically my whole summer, that whole
At the
summer,
hospital.
and I'm talking about I had a ball. Had a bruh, I kid you not. We riding, the little wagon that they have at the hospital, the red wagon, riding that mug up and down the hall, 2, 3 in the morning. Like we behind this
Mm,
ain't I probably ain't even supposed to say this,
that'd
but
be alright.
we behind the nurses station.
Right.
Like with like this, all the nurses love this
Right.
dude. So they spoiling us. They like, and so, but this what really broke me. This is what really broke me. This is what really got me. So he was doing so good, like at the end, so good to the point where they was letting him go home on the weekend. Like he was doing that good. They had showed his grandmama how to, do a little whatever
Right.
she needed to do. He could go home
For
Saturday and
treatment.
Sunday and come back Monday. He was doing so well. And
Okay.
um So it was like good, everything good. And then all of a sudden, like they were saying he caught pneumonia. Like, all right, so then he got, now it's like he's sick. Now mind you, he was just doing like super good. I'm talking about super good. So then it's like now they saying he super sick and stuff. And I'm like, wow, like it just flipped.
It was just good.
So the last time I saw him, the last time I had went and seen him, he was swole up real big,
Oh man.
like a fish.
Mm-hmm.
All this stuff hooked up to him and stuff like that. And he was sedated, so he couldn't really tell who was there, couldn't see nobody, stuff like that. And I think that was the last time I saw him, because they had flew him to, I think, Pensacola, whatever that hospital is, Sacred Heart or St. Jude or whatever the hospital is in
Well,
Pensacola. They flew him there to try to perform a surgery or do something. And at that point, it was just, you know what I mean? And that had broke me because he was doing so well. Cause I was never really worried about him beating the cancer. Cause like if you in the presence of somebody like that, they don't give you a reason to worry.
gotcha.
They make you feel like it's gonna be okay.
Right.
Cause this ain't a person that's crying and, oh man, why
Yeah.
me? Why this
Moping
somebody?
around, none of that.
This somebody that's like, man, like I'm still living.
Yeah.
So
I think I don't know if you remember this, and I don't know if because it's kind of blurry,
yeah,
but I think I remember a time after he had been diagnosed and was being treated
mm,
that he came to Fairhope. Was that ever time
yeah,
he did?
yeah,
I think I remember,
yeah,
and of course it was like when your dad was there or Elder Red was there or something like
yeah,
that. Um, but I remember he had came to the church, and I remember because the reason I remember is because we was standing by that water fountain that's still there,
mm-hmm,
and we was talking, and the way he was talking was different from when we would be out there playing.
yeah,
He sounded mature.
yeah,
He sounded like faithful
yeah,
and stuff like that. And I remember being like, that was the first time I was like, oh, he changed, and not in a negative. Like that was my first time ever seeing somebody like that close to death.
yeah,
And my perspective of that was people that's close to death, they ain't scared of it.
yeah,
That's the way he acted,
yeah.
and it made me be like, man, I want to be like that if I ever, because I don't want to die from like a
Right.
gunshot. I don't want to.
Yeah.
I want to be able to like know it's gonna be like 4 months. You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I was like, man, I want to be that confident in God and who I am and all that type of stuff.
Yeah.
Whenever that time come, and that really, like you said, it inspired me to take life more seriously. Because at the time, all I wanted to do was play. We was just playing the
Yeah.
game, playing
That's
outside,
it.
doing all that type of stuff. But
Yeah.
I agree, like he was a very inspiring individual, and of course I know even before that, but even more so after uh all of those things had taken place. And do you think that his the tragedy of how he passed on after your expectations and everybody expectations was he
Yeah.
getting a little better, do
Yeah.
you feel like it caused you to feel a certain way about God at all?
Nah, like I would it didn't make me like question God or mad at God or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
It just, I don't know, it just, I guess, just because I was just more disappointed, if that makes sense. Cause my
But you didn't
expectation,
blame.
nah, I never blamed
Right,
God, but I was so disappointed because my expectation was for him to walk up out of there.
right,
So yeah,
right. Okay. Yeah, I know that was a very uh crazy thing to happen like that, and especially like for your best friend like
yeah,
that
yeah,
to pass. um and like to me, like I said, like nobody who I have been that close with necessarily, like friend wise,
yeah.
they ain't never left, so I cannot relate in that way. But do you feel like from your experience in that there is anything that you can tell somebody who may experience that and may not look at it as bright as you did. As far as like you didn't necessarily blame God, you just was more so disappointed that he's gone.
Yeah.
Did you even grieve in that time? Did you grieve like in a way of like I'm sad and now what I'm gonna do? Like, did you grieve at all?
Um, that's a good question. I don't even know. I know all I know that was like the last time that I cried.
Right,
Like I ain't to be honest with you, bro. I haven't really cried since then. Like
right.
outside of being in church,
Yeah, yeah,
how we get emotional in
yeah,
church.
yeah.
But and I went and got a tat to kind of keep them with me. You know what I mean? But maybe that was how I, quote unquote process my grief.
Mhm.
Cause and it was always sentimental because he died September 25th. His birthday was October 24th. So
Mm.
you know what I mean. Then we got another homeboy, Scipio. His birthday, Scipio birthday is October 1st. His funeral was on Scipio birthday. So Scipio spent his 12th, 13th, something like that, birthday at his funeral. So all that's yeah,
Yeah, cause yeah, yeah, Scipio was super close to y'all too.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
So that was crazy for us both for real.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But so do you have anything you could tell somebody that may go through it that may not take it as well as you? Like how, maybe a perspective that they could look at it in. You feel like
Yeah. Um, I mean, first of all, just realize that your time with people is precious. That's number one. Like, don't take stuff like that for granted. You know what I mean?
right.
Cause even with a person that's giving you so much inspiration that they gonna walk out of there, it could not end up that way. So, and I was
Mm,
appreciative that I got to spend them summer days that I spent, bruh. How they say I don't have it don't what they say it don't owe me nothing.
right, right,
Hey, we
right.
we you know we did our thing, but anyway, like just cherish the moments first of all,
Hmm.
and if stuff don't go the way you wanted to go, in my case it didn't, but I mean, don't people like to blame God when stuff go wrong? God, why you let this happen? But who's to say that it wasn't meant to happen? You know what I mean?
But that's hard to hear
It
when
is.
you going through some
It is.
and you know I'm just
Yeah,
I
no.
agree with you,
Yeah.
but I'm just saying like people going through it, they really don't understand that aspect. How can that uh perspective of what if it was meant to happen, how can that be something that I can shift my understanding to and grieve with it properly? How can I do that if I'm in the situation and I didn't expect it?
Yeah.
How can I look at it from the perspective of what if it was meant to happen? What are some things that I can look at it in, or some perspectives?
I mean, I think you can ask God why. I don't think nothing wrong with that.
I
If
agree.
you want a genuine understanding,
Yeah.
and I think if you want to know why, I
Mm-hmm.
think you can ask God why.
Right. Right.
Cause
I agree.
we love, like, bro, we love people that's close to us.
Yep.
Like
He
like we
understand.
just said, that's like a brother to me. Like
Yeah.
God understand. He ain't gonna be like, nah, get out my face. Like,
Right. Right.
bro, that was your brother. Like
Mm-hmm.
I understand.
Mm-hmm.
So you can ask God why.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that's most time what people say. God, why? God, I mean, that's fair.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't think nothing wrong with that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and really, bro, I don't have a formula like step by step how
Mm-hmm.
to go about it because I think it's different for everybody.
Yeah. That's true.
Um, so it's case by case, but I just don't. I just would advise just try not to get mad at God about it. If you want to know why, cool. Um, and just try to, if you need help, ask for help. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? If you
Yeah.
if you can't, if grief is destroying you or something like that,
Mm-hmm.
just admit you need some help. But I don't really know.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, no, that's good though. I believe asking God why is probably the best, one of the best things to do in that situation. Not because you questioning God, because you know a lot of times the old folks tell us don't
Right.
question
Yeah.
God,
Yeah.
but I believe that questioning God with the intent for the to get the answer
Yes.
is is beneficial and it's
Mm.
effective. A lot of times, like you said, a lot of people say, Lord, why? But it's more so out of rage.
Yes.
Like, why would you do this to me?
To me.
And I don't really need to know no answer. I just think you stupid for doing it. And that be more so the vantage point that people take when they ask that. But like you said, if you genuinely ask God why, and you like, I want to know. Like, let me know what was the point?
Hmm.
And I believe God will give that information to those who genuinely want to know why God may have allowed it. Because,
Yeah.
like you said, it ain't God did it; He
Right.
allowed
He
it.
allowed it. Yeah.
You know, and so I think that is good advice, bro. I think that's perfect advice. But just be genuine in your asking why. Don't
Yeah.
just be asking why because you mad.
Yeah.
And I get it may be hard to do because you're in the situation and you upset or you're sad or this person was meant a lot to you. But like you say, bro, like um so many times we can be in them situations and we cause ourselves to go stray farther away from God, not because He did anything, but because we
Yeah.
perceived it that way,
Yeah.
and that's not
And I want to add this too. I don't. I still don't understand why.
right.
I don't know if I ever will. I
Right.
think I just accepted it.
So you don't desire to necessarily understand why. And I'm not trying to make you
Yeah.
go on this rabbit hole. Of, you know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, cause I never really asked why.
Right.
I think I just accepted it. But
Right.
if I think about it, I don't understand why it had to happen. Like I may never know.
Mm,
It's been what 24, 2011, 2025, whatever that is, my math.
yeah. What
But
14?
14, yeah, I was
Mm-hmm.
gonna say 20. But I still don't understand why. I mean, I don't know why it had to happen.
Yeah.
I just accepted it, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna go. We gonna get out of
Yeah,
that
yeah, yeah,
hole for a
yeah,
second.
yeah, yeah. Go ahead.
um, now I just heard this from somebody. Now I heard you don't really like no other types of movies except like black movies.
I'm getting better. Yeah,
You getting better?
yeah,
But why? What makes you like only like? Was it your upbringing? Like that was the only type of movies I watched, or and not even with movies, just the culture.
yeah.
Like what made you so attached to like black culture to the point where like other cultured things seem boring or
Yeah.
uninteresting to you?
I don't know, man. I think because my attention span so short sometimes,
Hmm.
I have to find something that's relatable and it have to be quick. Like it had to be something that catch me and they gotta catch me quick. I'm not I don't really I can't sit sometimes and let it develop and get interesting later. I gotta
Right,
see like, oh, Kevin Hart in here. Or like I
right.
gotta see like it's a bunch of action shooting or something.
Gotcha.
Like it gotta be some right off the rip. Cause I just think sometimes I don't have a very long attention span.
Why you think that? Like, why you think that is when it? So you want it to be relatable to
Yeah,
stuff that you may have experienced or that you just like.
yeah.
Why you feel like you don't feel very adventurous in that aspect? Like maybe I might like it even though I can't relate to it.
Yeah. And then see what the problem is with that. When I do try,
You
it be
don't.
so boring in the first part of it.
Hmm.
I be sitting there like, all right, I'm trying, I'm trying, I'm
Hmm.
trying. Then it get to a point like, all right, I can't do it no more.
Right.
I be trying,
Right.
but I ain't gonna lie. My wife, she make me. She don't make me watch
Hmm.
stuff, but she make me want to try to explore my options and expand my you know,
Hmm. Like your palate.
yeah,
Yeah.
cause if it was left up to me, it'd be straight football, basketball, comedy, and
Yeah.
I know she'd be like, this dude here.
Right. But you don't feel like being more cultured in that way. Do you feel like that's being cultured, being able to, or do you feel like the only culture you need is like? How do you feel about that?
No, I don't like being like that.
Huh?
I don't like only liking black movies. I wish I was more diverse,
So
to be
okay,
honest.
so you saying you don't like being like that,
Yeah,
but you can't help that you don't.
right. I can't help that I am, but I
Right.
I wish I was more. You know what I mean? I wanna dive into some different stuff.
Right.
Yeah,
So, but you're not the type of person like it don't grow on me. Like I'll know if I like it based on.
yeah, and I know right away. It don't take me long at all. Yeah, I'm getting better though,
Is
bro.
it the same way with music? You don't delve in too many like you know how we like our hip hop, R&B, older,
Yeah,
uh, R&B or pop music, stuff
yeah.
like that. But you didn't really delve into nothing else when it came to
See,
music.
music a little different,
Okay,
cause I first I like beats and I like the vibe.
okay,
So if it's a country song, but it got a nice little vibe to it, I can rock with that. So even though the genre is country, but if it got a nice little vibe, I'm gonna be like, yeah, this smooth.
okay,
So I don't music is different. Like cause like rap, I'm gonna be honest, I don't really like rap.
okay.
Cause a lot of times they just making club bangers
Right,
and they ain't talking about nothing.
right. It's more geared towards the money making
Yeah.
aspect. Yeah.
So I can like I like jazz. I love jazz,
Mm-hmm.
R&B. I mean, if I'm in the mood, I listen to some classical. It
Mm-hmm.
don't matter. If
Right.
it's a vibe, it's a vibe.
Okay. So you a
Yeah.
little different with
Yeah, I'm a
music.
little different with music. Yeah.
Okay. 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 Well, okay. That's different. So, but I think I'm just confused then, because it's like,
Yeah.
well, I mean, but if that's you, that's you. So do you feel like you will ever get to the point where you can like watch, uh, like the movies that you wouldn't dare watch, or the things
Hmm.
that you wouldn't dare do, like you may go to a festival that only have this certain type of artist, or this event
Hmm.
that some like we don't do that, like black people don't do that. Do you feel like you could see yourself doing that now, like you said, with your wife kind of helping you to kind of,
Yeah.
do you feel like that's something that you'd be open to? Because I mean,
Yeah, I'm open to it.
right,
Depends on what it is.
right, right. Okay, okay, no, that's fine. That's fine. Okay, so how was it in school? Elementary, middle, high school. You went
Yeah.
to some
Yeah.
rough schools,
Yeah.
bro.
Yeah.
A lot of people who watch First 48, they know Mobile, Alabama be on there a
Yeah.
lot.
Yeah.
Not for the best reasons, and I think that there's a perception of our area that is very um, war torn and drug induced and all this type of stuff,
Yeah.
gangs and killing, just random stuff happening, stuff like that. And the schools be having a remnant of it. You know
Hmm.
what I mean? Do you feel like, how was your coming up in school? What were some experiences that you had that you was like, I can't believe this is like this?
Yeah. So elementary school was good. It was gravy.
Okay.
Then middle school, like I was like, them boys was really like it was like hoods, like really at each other. I'm like, oh, like this for real.
Bro.
Like I'm talking about really fighting about hoods. I'm like, oh yeah, like this crazy. And the school we went to was right across the street from Orange Grove. I went to Callaway.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
And where I lived at the time was in RV projects.
Okay.
They ain't like Orange Grove. So you got RV kids coming basically to Orange Grove. Like the
Yeah.
school and the school right across the street from Orange Grove
Literally
Project.
walking distance right across the
So
street. Yep.
and we got like three, four, probably like two, three buses
Mhm.
of RV around that area getting bused to Orange Grove.
Mhm.
So it's like, oh man, like that joint was crazy. Like
Mhm.
I couldn't believe that when I first got there.
And you already knowing like the conflict is almost seemed kind of set up.
Yeah,
Did you ever see something that happened that you was just like, this, I don't need to be here? Like, was there any times where, or did you just accept and be like, I just gotta make it. I gotta make it through.
yeah. I mean, it wasn't like none that I wasn't accustomed to, cause like I say,
Yeah, but Isaac, the stuff that
yeah,
you, some of the stuff that you know that's normal to you, it
yeah,
ain't normal.
right,
You
Yeah,
get what I'm saying?
yeah. Like
And
I
and
mean,
and I know you have come to understand that as you got older.
yeah,
But was there certain things like that you saw?
yeah. Like I remember a dude got knocked out. So we used to walk in the how we used to come in the gym in the morning before homeroom. I think sometimes for some.
Hmm.
So everybody was coming to going in the gym. Dude was getting ready to come in the gym, got knocked out by somebody first thing in the morning, like just
For
coming in the gym.
breakfast.
And I remember I got in trouble by the principal because I didn't know that I couldn't say nothing. So it was like later on in the day, or it's probably like an hour later, and I saw the dude coming out the office, and all I said was, "There you go, right there." I ain't, and it wasn't like I wasn't telling nobody to get him or nothing like that. I was just acknowledging like, oh, he's still here.
He's still alive.
Yeah. And
That's crazy.
she was like, don't say
Right.
nothing.
And so you got in trouble for doing that.
Yeah, not all she
Right.
said was like, don't. She's
Oh,
like,
okay,
don't say
okay.
nothing, don't say nothing
Right.
about that. But yeah, it was crazy, bro. Like
Right.
folks getting arrested, like middle school,
Middle
like
school.
that's when you seeing like folks get locked up, police coming in the classroom, like come with me, like crazy, like yeah,
All right, and then so you went from there, and then you went to high school.
yeah,
How was that? What was there a difference? Was it like a step up, or was it tamer? You
yeah.
know.
So a lot of them people that I went to middle school with, some of them I went to high school with. So I mean, you kind of know people at this point. You kind of know what they into. You kind of know if they,
Right.
fight a lot and stuff like that. So some of it, I'm like, yeah, I know they probably gonna be kicked out for the year over with stuff
Mm-hmm.
like that. But thankfully, this time we was in a school. I went to a school that was close to where we lived at, so it wasn't so much area against area like
Okay.
friction
Okay. Okay.
this
Okay.
time. But the thing that I experienced in high school that I didn't experience in middle school was food fights.
Mm.
So when I the first time when I was in my first, not in my first food fight, but when
Right.
I experienced that jump, bro, that jump was crazy,
Mm-hmm.
brother. So you can feel the table shaking like an earthquake before it start. I'm not lying.
Wait, what was the table shaking for?
Like, cause everybody getting ready to start throwing stuff, so you can hear like, like it's crazy, bro. Like you can feel them finna get ready to start throwing stuff,
Mm-hmm.
cause everybody start moving around, like start,
Mm-hmm.
and then next thing you know, yum 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 yum. That joint was crazy. When I first had my first food fight, that joint was crazy.
Right.
But same stuff.
Right.
Folks getting
Same stuff.
fighting, getting arrested.
Okay.
Same stuff. Yeah.
That's not normal.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Like kids, obviously they made school for it to be a learning environment, but it's a
Hmm.
lot of people who ain't never experienced being in class learning about algebra, and somebody walks in, a
Yeah.
police officer walk in and arrest somebody. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's insane. Do you feel like that ever play on your mind, the way that you look at the world? Do you feel like some of the ways that you look at the world came from a lot of the experiences that you had? And
Yeah.
if so, well, like what's some of those ways you think?
Yeah. Probably so, bro. Just like having to be, what's the word? Having to like be insensitive to some stuff.
Mm.
Cause I mean, you see so much, some stuff you gotta like shrug it off. Cause you probably gonna see it again tomorrow.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Right.
You might see it 3, 4 times this week. So
So it's like being desensitized to people getting arrested,
yeah.
or
Or
wow.
even somebody, a girl might get maced at school, get stabbed. You be like, yeah, stuff like that. I mean, yeah,
Man, that's rough. I went to a private school.
yeah,
That's crazy.
yeah.
Um. So that's something that's, like I say, that's not normal. But I know now. Um. For example, at our church, you help with the young men's
Mm,
ministry and stuff like that.
mm,
Why do you feel like you're so attracted to help young men, or feel a purpose
yeah.
to help young men? Do you feel like there's a reason for maybe in your upbringing, or do you just feel like there's a language that you speak that can be related to by younger men?
Man, I think, bro. So like you talking about growing up in them schools. So I was very like way more mature, and I had God blessed me to be kind of wise as
Mm-hmm.
a young man. I'm
Mm-hmm.
still a young man, but I'm talking about like younger.
Okay, what you
So
mean? What do you mean
like
younger?
just can see stuff, pick up on stuff. Like I bruh, no lie, I could look at people and be like, I could tell he ain't like that for real. Like
He, yeah.
just trying to be something. Like I know, and I know him, but I don't know him. But I know
Mm-hmm.
that ain't them.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I'm seeing dudes I know that just so scared to be they self
Mm-hmm.
that they about to crash and burn trying to fit in. And how I was, I really didn't. I was one of the ones who that didn't bother me trying to fit in and stuff.
Okay.
You know, people like to some people I was lame.
Okay.
To some people I'm still lame.
Mm-hmm.
But when I tell you I didn't care and I still don't care,
Mm-hmm.
see that type of stuff wasn't gonna bother me.
People, what people think about you.
Yeah, like oh you lame, that wasn't gonna bother me.
Right.
Like if you think that was gonna get me to, all right,
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
What's next?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just seeing that, like I'm seeing dudes that just that won't be scared to be they self,
Mm-hmm.
that's doing stuff that no not them. You know what I mean? They so that kind of it kind of made me want to like try to get people to be who they are. Everybody wanted to be gangster, but everybody ain't gangster.
Right.
You got ball players that, and it's just an example.
Yeah.
But instead of
That's
being
real.
a ball player, a hooper, football player, whatever, they want to be gangster. Why? You know what I mean? I never understood that. Or it ain't had to be a ball player. If you a musician, people try to make it lame to be in the band. Why is that
Right.
lame? You know what I'm saying?
Right. Right. Right.
But you
Right.
might
Right.
be a talented musician,
Right.
but because people say it's lame, excuse me, to be in the band, now you trying to go do something that ain't even you. That stuff like that, it bothered me. I never liked that stuff.
Right.
And so that I think that's my driving force
Mm,
to just try to get young men to not be afraid to be who they are and not get caught up trying to be somebody they not. You know what I mean? I ain't never like that. I never
right.
like that.
Right. And so, with that, do you feel like where do you feel like most of that effect comes from? Where these young men kind of want to be like like the in crowd instead of being
Yeah,
themselves. Where you feel like a lot of that stems from, whether it be uh, you know, at home life or the culture of America or whatever.
yeah,
What you feel like causing a lot of us young dudes to feel like we gotta be like this person to be accepted and not just be who we already are
yeah. I think it's not enough examples for one.
of people who stand
Yeah,
on their own.
that they look up to. I
Okay.
think that's the problem. It ain't enough people that they look up to. Like they don't see enough people that they look up to saying, "Yeah, I'm married to and I'm committed to one woman." And what? Yeah, I go to church. And what? Like they don't see enough of that.
So who are they looking up to? You saying?
The rappers, it, I ain't even gonna say the athletes, cause I mean the athletes they are at the professional level doing what probably a lot of guys want to do,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
but they ain't necessarily just all bad guys.
Right.
But like when you look at the rappers, and they may not be bad guys either necessarily, but they saying all the worst
Gotcha.
stuff.
They
You know what I mean?
persona is,
Yeah.
yeah.
And then they got the girls.
Mm-hmm.
That's what the young guys like. They everybody want a bad girl.
Yeah.
So and they just don't have enough examples for real, like of people that's like standing on their own 2 feet
Mm-hmm.
and saying like I'm positive and I don't have to be over there.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? I think
Exactly.
that's one.
Yeah, yeah. No, that's real because a lot of these guys. I think you hit it on the head when you said that a lot of the influences that they do look up to,
Yeah,
they ain't preaching the right thing. They ain't
exactly,
portraying the right message for them to be themselves. They
exactly.
portraying this certain way
Yeah,
and this certain lifestyle, and the they look up to this one, they look up to that one, they look, but they all doing the same thing,
exactly.
like you said. So I think that's so true. And do you think that there is a way to get them to look at the right influences, or to look at the right mural to be like, I mean, it ain't necessarily flashy, but that's what I want? Or do you
Yeah,
feel like they gonna have to get super mature after they messed up their life
yeah,
and then come to the realization?
yeah. I think that's the challenge of trying to get them
Gotcha.
some right examples, because you got to look at too, even like when they see people that like, say, you know how you have some of these motivational speakers and stuff, and they say like they've been to prison before,
Mm-hmm.
and then now they turn their life around, but they 45 and
Gotcha.
they done spent 10 years in prison. So even those people, like some of the guys might be looking at them saying, okay, you changing now, but you still, so they probably feel like, okay, well, I could probably do 10 years and still be straight, instead of somebody that skipped that 10 years in prison
It's
and
crazy.
never, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Because they seeing some of the guys, like I give you an example, like Gucci, the rapper.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody know old Gucci was like that. He was on that. But if you look at Gucci now, everybody say he done calm down now. He married, he a family man, stuff
Mm-hmm.
like that. So they probably looking like, you know what I mean?
Right.
Gucci did it, I can do it.
Right.
But why wouldn't you want to avoid the
The
first half of Gucci life, and
exactly.
just, if you want to be a family man, if you want to be the, I ain't gonna say be the Gucci now because I
Mm.
don't know
Mm-hmm.
all how he live, but
Right.
why not avoid the first? Like, they need to see somebody who, and follow after somebody who just been on the straight and narrow. They whole, like, I ain't gonna say never done nothing
I know
wrong.
what you mean though.
Yeah,
I know
but
what you
it's
mean.
like,
Like,
I don't know, bro. It's
yeah,
crazy.
and I think I know exactly what you mean because, like, really what I believe too, it ain't necessarily their fault for who they are inspired by per
Yeah,
se. It is, but a big percentage of it is who the society is pushing.
exactly,
Whoever is being put in front of them is like, I only can choose from these, and I don't
exactly.
want to choose the super cornball. I'm
Right,
gonna choose the one who
right.
is now a little bit corny, but he went through some super gangster stuff. So I'll do that.
Yeah,
I'll be
exactly,
corny later on, but I want to. And so,
exactly.
like, there is no medium. There is no, you know, there's no glamour to
Yeah,
doing anything the right way.
yeah,
Like, if a dude be 20, 19, 18, 17, or 21, 20 or older,
yeah.
17 and up, and you're a virgin, boy, you might as well cut your head off or
Cut
something,
your
bro.
head
They
off,
gon'
bro.
they gon' torment you
Yeah,
for the most part, and I feel like most times it's majority in our culture.
yeah.
I ain't gonna say it's only because I don't believe that,
Right.
but majority in our culture,
Yeah,
because our culture makes it seem like if you ain't him, you lame. Like you said, if you ain't talking in class, if you ain't janking with us, if you ain't fighting and getting arrested, you lame. But then you look at other cultures sometimes, and you have people like that, but they're confident enough to stand in who they are because they ain't getting so much
yeah.
backlash
Right.
for being who they are.
Yeah,
In our culture, it's almost like they'll try to cut your money because
yeah,
you want to portray that image. Like,
yeah.
no rapper couldn't really do that. You know what I
Mm-mm,
mean? They not gonna push that.
mm-mm.
And so I feel like sometimes, a majority of the time, is who they have to pick from the litter.
Yeah, no, I agree.
You
I
know what I
agree.
mean?
That's what make it so hard.
Yeah, yeah. So with that, with the young men having that, I know a lot of them, like you said, you talked about something very vital, their perception of getting women. And
Hmm.
this ain't like no black thing. This is just
Right, right,
a
right,
young man thing.
right.
What was it like for you in relationships? getting girls,
Yeah.
talking to girls, dating girls. Like that talking stage in between where it's like we ain't made it official, but we both know we like you. Like, what was some of your experiences and how you kind of maintained yourself throughout dating? What
Yeah.
was your life like in that?
I ain't gonna lie. I got dead wrong, bro.
Nah,
Ike, bro. For real. That's it.
bro.
More times than not, I got dead wrong.
But is that just you saying that because you ain't got no, you don't have nobody that's combating you right now, or you been?
Nah, nah. They know. They'll probably never admit it, but they know. But it wasn't like nothing extremely bad. I don't wanna be
Dramatic,
dramatic,
yeah.
but I just say this. I had some crazy experiences with women.
Mm-hmm.
And I was never like the relationship type, so I ain't what I mean by that, I didn't jump in a bunch of relationships.
Okay.
So it ain't like I had a whole bunch of girlfriends and stuff. But
Mm-hmm.
the girls that I did talk to, it was just like a lot of them did some flaw stuff. I ain't gonna lie.
Why you think that is? Why you think that is?
I don't know, bro. Like some, a
And
lot of
what you mean flaw? What you mean?
uh,
I mean, you ain't got to say their name.
yeah, no, I ain't gonna say that name. But I just okay, it be stuff like they'll okay, 1 week is like, oh, I really like you and stuff like that. Then the next week is like, nah, I'm cool.
Playing with your emotions.
Just crazy stuff,
Yeah.
like stuff like that.
Yeah.
And see, for me, like I don't be on all that type of time. Like some folks like to play games and all that. Like I
Right.
don't do all that. Like you
Right.
know what I mean?
Right.
Like, and it just they don't. I know a lot of times the younger girls, they don't really like a dude like me.
Mm-hmm.
Like when I say like me, I mean like that's kind of mature, kind of ain't really
You
about
don't
no
think so?
games and stuff. No, they don't. They don't. They they like a different type of dude. I ain't really they style.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
For real.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Like I ain't
Yeah. Yeah.
I ain't really they style. But like
Mm-hmm.
nah, bro. I mean, like I had like okay, I give you an example.
Mm-hmm.
I can say this about this person because
Yeah. Come on, bro.
I ain't gonna say her name though. So,
Hey,
bro,
if you feel like, yeah. No,
yeah,
I'm just
yeah, she'll
playing.
probably never see this. So, bro, we was in Atlanta for Thanksgiving
Mm-hmm.
a couple years ago,
Mm-hmm.
and I was just like, I asked my cousin, I was like, man, like, where the girls at up here? He said, I got a neighbor that's your age that stay like 2 houses down, right?
Okay.
So he said she normally come outside when I be outside hooping. I was like, all right, cool. So I'm thinking like I'm gonna see her soon. Bro, we outside playing basketball. She never come outside. So I'm like, dang, where she at?
Mm-hmm.
So the last day we finna get ready to leave Atlanta,
Mm-hmm.
we in the car, we packed up the car, we finna go. All I hear is, there she go, there she go, there she go. So I'm like, who y'all talking about? They said she outside checking the mail. So they asking me, now my dad asking me like, you want me to go down there so you can talk to her? Like drive down, cause we finna
Oh, okay,
leave.
okay, okay,
We
okay.
finna
Gotcha.
leave. So I'm like, nah, I'm cool. Like, cause we finna go back to Mobile. Like, she staying in Atlanta. Like,
Right.
that was like 3 days ago.
I got you.
So now I'm
You was
like,
done with it.
I'm
Yeah.
cool. So, but they keep asking me, like, you sure you don't want me? So now at this point, I'm like, all right, go on ahead.
Mm-hmm.
So my dad pull up to her house. I talk to her, get her number, whatever. Cool. We
Oh, smooth like
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah, like it was cool. So look, so we texting back on the way to Mobile, whatever,
Uh-huh.
whatever. She feeling me or whatever.
Uh-huh.
So all right, fast forward. She say she finna move to Miami. All right, cool, whatever. Like Atlanta is one thing,
Mm-hmm.
if you stay next to my aunt, so that's
Mm-hmm.
one thing. But you finna move to Miami, cool, whatever. All right, come to find out though, she had a girlfriend that lived in Miami, like a whole girlfriend.
Wait, wait. You mean like are you saying like how girls say girlfriend or
No,
you
no,
talking
no,
about
no, no. She had a girlfriend that lived in Miami. Like at the time that she was talking to me. So I'm like, oh, I'm finding stuff out later. I'm like, oh, dang, bruh, tell me why this girl FaceTime me, bro, the next Thanksgiving. Mind you, this was Thanksgiving, right? Around Thanksgiving time. She FaceTime me the next Thanksgiving and said, I thought you was coming back to Atlanta for Thanksgiving. I was like,
wait, so did she tell you about Miami?
she told me she was moving to Miami. She didn't
Right.
tell me she had a girlfriend in Miami.
Okay. And
I
so
seen, I found that out from her Instagram. She was
okay.
posting, she started posting the girl on the Instagram and stuff. I was like, oh, you got a whole girlfriend, you know.
Right.
So I'm like, dang.
And then so she asked you.
The next year, a whole calendar
Right.
year later, because I had told her before we left that I would probably come back and see my family the next Thanksgiving.
Gotcha. Okay.
You know
Okay.
what I mean? But
Mm-hmm.
now she got a girlfriend and stuff, so I'm
Right.
like, you ain't studying me.
Right.
Why you FaceTime me a year later and ask me and say you thought I was coming back to Atlanta? You see what I mean? Just like
Yes.
crazy
I
stuff.
see what you're saying. Like how um and I don't know about girls, but I know a lot of guys who do this. They talk to a girl and they get in relationship with them. They cool. They like each other.
Yeah.
Then they'll kind of like not necessarily cut them off, but it's not the same.
Yeah.
But then they'll come back like nothing ever stopped,
Mhm.
so that they can keep them around or
Yeah.
keep them on edge about what was going on and make them feel bad
Yeah.
at
Yeah.
the same time about it. You feel
Yeah.
like it was kind of like that?
Yeah. I guess, but it just dumb stuff like that. So that was
No, that's dumb.
that was a lot of my experiences like
That
that.
was that's so stupid. That's so like unnecessary. Like you doing
Crazy
what you
stuff.
want.
Yeah.
I think.
That's how I took it. I mean,
So you experienced a lot of that with
mhm.
girls
Yeah.
that you was serious about talking to for the most part.
In some
Not
cases,
serious, but
yeah. In some cases, yeah.
yeah. So did you have some successful ones? Well, obviously not all successful, but they
Uh,
they were doing good until they weren't.
kind of like the one. Okay, the one that I said one week it was like I like you, and then next week she like me and her was vibing pretty good,
Mm-hmm.
but I think it was good. I didn't end up with her. Like I think so the vibes was good, but I think she was not good and not meant for me to be with. So I'm glad that that didn't work out, but things were going well when they were going well, if that makes sense.
Yeah, but so why you don't think it would be good if you stayed with her
Because
if it didn't work out?
because I kind of been seeing how things been transpiring with her since that, and
Okay.
I know some stuff that happened with me since that,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't know if like some of the stuff that I went through, I don't know if she would have been able to
Gotcha.
handle some of the stuff I was going through, and
Gotcha.
then some of the stuff that she had going on, because I've been kind of seeing her
Mm-hmm.
out from afar, and I've been like, yeah, I don't know if you know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I say I think it was good that we didn't go further than what we did,
Yeah.
but while we was talking, it was actually nice.
Okay. So all those different relationships that you had, because
Yeah,
I had a relationship like that where it was good.
yeah,
It didn't pan out,
yeah,
but while it was there, it was cool. And so I get that. And sometimes it when you explain it to people, they like, well, what changed? But
yeah,
I think I understand what you mean when it's like, but it was best that it didn't,
yeah,
work out. But with that, now you married
yes,
and you have a wife and you have this whole new setup, this whole new family, and you moving on.
mm,
What's the difference in this relationship
yeah.
and those previous ones? The good and the bad of those previous ones. What's different about this one, you think?
Yeah. So like with my wife, she was the only one that I can truly say like that just wasn't really about no games. It wasn't like no whole lot of stuff with her. She was I rock with you for you. Like it is like it wasn't no games. It wasn't no a lot of that stuff. Like cause from my other experience, like I said, you have these wishy-washy moments and 1 minute I'm in, 1 minute I'm out
Gotcha.
and all that stuff. My wife, like she wasn't like that.
Mm-hmm.
So when me and her met, like, it was cool. We was cool at first. We met at work. We was working together.
Mm-hmm.
We was cool. And then, she's so goofy, so it was easy to make her
Mm-hmm.
laugh and all
Mm-hmm.
that. And so we ended up being friends and stuff. Then, she said she liked me or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And bro, when she first told me she liked me, I she had asked me did I like her, and I was like no, cause I thought that meant she wanted to be in a relationship. So I was like, I ain't gonna say I like you, like we cool,
So
but
it was more so because you weren't really ready for no commitment right now.
yeah, not then. I
Yeah.
was like we cool, but I thought she was saying like she was trying to do something.
Progress
Like
this
yeah, I was
thing.
like hold, yeah. So, but she told me later that wasn't really what she meant. She
Okay.
just was trying to see if I like was it mutual.
Did that affect y'all's relationship when you said no
Oh yeah,
for a time?
yeah.
What was it like?
Like she was kind of hurt because she all she was saying was I like you as a person and I like your vibe.
Right.
And so when I said that it wasn't the same, she was like, but you
Oh.
but you flirting with me like you.
Right.
So she was confused. But I was confused about what she had said.
Gotcha. Misunderstanding.
Yeah, misunderstanding.
Mm.
But after that, it was it
Back.
was cool, you
Okay.
know what I mean? And then she
Mm.
a big thing that was a thing that was huge for me. I had to be able to be myself because I wasn't going. I knew who I was. I knew how I was as far as like I'm a laid back, real chill. I'm a old soul as they say.
Mm-hmm.
So my vibe might not be young boy. I'm sorry. It just
Right.
is what it is.
Right. Right.
Like
Right.
if that's what you like no hard feelings. But that probably ain't gonna be my vibe.
Right.
And I ain't finna try to act like that's who I am, and
Right.
I know it ain't.
Right.
So I was never gonna change who I was. So
So you want one of them dudes who put on their representative to get a girl?
nah,
Guys, come on.
not in that way, not in that way. Like I wasn't finna change. I wasn't finna
Change the music
lie
that you
about my
like.
musical taste and all that.
Yeah. Okay.
Nah, not in that way. In other ways, yeah, not in that way though.
Okay, but what about the people who feel like they gotta do that to get the girl they want?
Don't don't start it off like
Tell them,
that.
tell them, tell them.
Yeah, don't start don't start it off like that. Because if you start it off like that,
Yeah,
you gotta keep going
that's the
like that.
foundation.
Yeah, yeah. I like just get with somebody who you can be you around. That's a
Gotcha.
great start, bro.
But it
I
ain't.
believe that's a
But
great start.
I feel like for some people it feels easier to be more adaptable or malleable in that way. I can be like this because this girl is easier to get right now because the person that you got to be yourself around most
Hmm.
times you don't find them right away. Do you
True.
feel like a lot of dudes don't want to take the time to go through that, or do you feel like a lot of dudes be wanting something else out of the relationship?
Mm, I think a lot of them be wanting something else, but dudes will adapt, especially if a girl is a certain physical stature.
100%.
Yeah, they gonna make them change.
Yeah.
You like young boy? I
I
like young boy. Like they'll do that a lot.
Yeah.
But then down the road, it be like
Come back to
I
bite you, bro.
changed everything for you, and now that's why people be saying
Yeah.
I don't know myself or I lost myself,
Mhm.
because they be changing everything for somebody else. That's
Yeah.
why I was saying don't start it off like that.
Yeah.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Okay, so then you and your wife now y'all had got back on the same page.
Hmm.
And then from there, how did it blossom into what it is now?
Yeah. So we both had left that job because we started not we didn't leave because,
Mhm.
but we started hanging out a lot, and then so she ended up leaving.
Mhm.
I ended up leaving because I was burnt out.
Mhm. Mhm.
So then after that, we was kind of able to hang out more without having to worry about the
Right.
little work stuff.
Right.
So we started hanging out more. Obviously, started liking feeling each other a little more.
Yeah.
And then, like, I started having situations in my life, like with my mom and different stuff like that. And she was like there being supportive and stuff like that. And so obviously, you don't forget. I'm a person that I value like loyalty.
Hmm.
Like loyalty is like high on my board. So if you been there for me in times when you didn't have to be, or like different stuff like that,
Mhm.
I'm a rewarder of loyalty. I
Gotcha.
remember those things. So and like I said, we cool. Like she ain't bought no games and stuff
Mm-hmm.
like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like so, and I'm like, dang, you know, I kind of like it. So it was progressing, you know, like that. But I'm telling myself now, I still wasn't willing to commit to a relationship with her, even though we hanging out and like she's supporting me and different things. I still wasn't willing to commit to a
Wow.
relationship. I just I I don't know. I was well, I know now. I had a lot of fears. Um I was driven more by fear than I was driven by things that were positive. So I was led by fear. I knew what I didn't want more than I knew what I wanted. And that fueled me. That drove me. So little stuff I saw, little signs I saw, it scared me. I'm like, I don't know about that. I don't want to commit to that. You know what I
Right.
mean? And I know nobody perfect. I know I wasn't perfect, but I was just so driven by fear. I ain't wanna.
Got you. So
Yeah,
when you saw certain things that maybe didn't align with what you felt was compatible for you at the time,
yeah,
it made you just draw back on your commitment, not as far as being there for her or being cool with her,
yeah,
but further commitment,
yeah. Like every time
like
she ask
progressing
me,
it.
like, so we ain't gonna be nothing more than nah.
Man,
Yeah,
and you know, I ain't trying to downplay your wife or nothing like that, but I'm like, do you feel like that ever? Well, obviously, it didn't make her, you know, step back in any way.
mm.
Why do you feel like she continued to stay there, knowing your answer?
I think cause she she was she knew how I was treating her because I basically treated her like a girlfriend. I just never committed verbally.
Yeah, but ain't that a lot of the girls' fears? Like,
Mm,
I get, you know, the same treatment as a husband,
mm.
but I ain't his wife, and so every now and then he may pull that card. You don't. Why didn't that resonate with her? You think?
I don't know, bro. I think she figured that I would come around at some point.
And she must have knew
I think
something.
she had a hope. Well, I didn't let me say a
Yeah.
hope. I think she had a hope that I would come around at some point, and she knew how I was treating her,
Mm.
and I think she was having a good time. She enjoyed the what companionship and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Yeah.
So did I. Um, and I think she just held on to her hope, bro. I think that's really what it was. She knew that she liked me. She
That's dope.
knew that I was a good guy, and I think she just held on to her hope, bro.
Yeah, and I think that's what I was gonna say. I think that, to me, from what I'm looking at, that seems like a lot of what it was, bro. Like you said at the beginning, she said, "I just like you for you,"
Yeah,
and I believe that it's hard to get somebody who like you
yeah,
to not like you know how people say, "I don't like you no more. I fell out of love with you." I don't
yeah.
believe in that. I don't believe that that's a real thing.
Right,
I believe that if you love me for me, or if you like me, you can't unlike me
right.
in real life.
Yeah,
You can say that, but that's not the reality of how you feel inside.
yeah.
And I think that because she genuinely liked you, and you, like you said, you ain't put your representative
Right.
up there, it didn't matter that you said no,
Exactly.
not right now. It was more so like, oh, well, that's fine because I like you anyway. So if you know, maybe it won't come around, but like you said, that desire to be around you,
Yeah.
it kept the flame there,
Exactly.
and it ended up working out.
Yeah. That's 100% true. Cause if you fall in love with something, like if you fall in love with physique, when physique change, you gonna say, all right, I'm cool. If you fall in love with money, if the money diminish, you gonna say, all right, I'm cool.
Man,
So yeah, I mean that's true.
yeah, yeah, a hundred
Yeah,
thousand percent.
yeah,
And so I'm gonna pivot here, and we can, you know, kind of wrap it up, and
yeah,
this will be a little bit on a more somber note in a way, but you also had somebody else who you love and who loves you go through something traumatic too.
yeah,
If you want to talk about
yeah, yeah,
it,
yeah.
okay.
That's
Um, and it was a little bit closer
yeah,
to home this
yeah, for
time.
sure.
and you know your mom was going through cancer,
Yeah.
and so how was that initially,
Yeah.
and going through that process, how was that in your mind? Like, did your mind ever shift towards God at all in that moment, or in that time frame? What was that like?
Yeah. So initially, when she first told me about the diagnosis, I remember she called me and told me that they, said she
Hmm.
had cancer, whatever. I can't even really remember how I felt in that moment. I don't know if I was like a little sad. I think I was a little sad, like golly, cause you gotta understand, my mama young.
Hmm.
My mama finna turn 52
Oh my
in
gosh.
like a couple days. So this was like 2, 3 years ago. My mama was like 49 then.
Oh
So she
man.
young now. You
Young.
gotta understand, my mama young. So
Wow.
when she first told me, I was probably like, dang, okay. But immediately I went into like, let's do what we gotta do. I wasn't really worried about like, oh, she gonna die, nothing like that. It was just like, let's do what we gotta do then. You know what I mean? Let's start the process. So obviously, you start the little chemo and all that stuff. Start taking, cause and none of that stuff, it don't really change your body for the first couple weeks.
Okay.
So like hair loss and all that, you don't see that for the first couple weeks.
Okay.
So everything still look normal at first. So nothing is bothering me yet. We just going back home, going
Doing
back.
what you got to do.
Yeah.
Hmm.
This like the first 4 weeks.
Okay.
All right. Now we on the second 4 weeks.
Okay.
So and I had went to go work out there on the water, and I didn't get to take my mama for probably like 2 or 3 weeks to chemo.
Okay. And so, explain to them why, because some people might not know about working on the water.
Gotcha.
Like what? Why weren't you able to take her?
Okay, yeah. So I went to go work on
Mm-hmm.
the towboat,
Mm-hmm.
and you live out there. You out work out there for 28 days at a time, and so that's where you live. That's where you sleep. That's where you eat. You not on land at all for 28 days. So I'm out traveling on the water,
Mm-hmm.
not in the Gulf, but still, they call it inland, but you
Right.
still on the water, living
Right.
on the boat.
Right.
So I was out there for, I think I did like 25 days or something like that.
Okay.
So I missed about 3 weeks of taking her to chemo.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so now when I get back, I haven't seen my mom in like 3 weeks. So now I'm noticing her skin getting darker, starting to see little signs of health. Now the cancer looks starting to take
Right.
effect. So when I
Right.
seen her for the first time in like a couple of weeks, I was like, okay, yeah, it's starting to show itself.
Mm.
So, but I'm still like, all right, let me get back in the
Groove.
groove.
Gotcha.
So we going, and I'm talking about, I'm not even really realizing how much we doing. Sometimes we going to 3, 4 doctor's appointments a week. Sometimes 2 in a day. I mean, it's
Intense.
we running. And so I want to add this too, because it might be good for context. So when I came off the boat and I saw how she was looking and stuff, I knew I wasn't going back at that point.
Right.
I knew I wasn't going back.
Right.
So now I don't have a job no more.
That does that.
Yeah. So I don't have a job at this point.
Hmm.
Which you be out for 14 anyway. So you
Right.
get your 14.
So you had a buffer to kind of decide.
Right.
Yeah.
But when the guy called me and said, "Hey man, you coming back?" Nah, man, I can't. My mom said I can't, man. He gave me some grace too. Like, man, if you want to come back, things get better with your mom, let me know. He gave me some grace, but
Okay.
I can't come back.
Yeah.
So anyway, we get back in the groove. But I don't have no job, so I don't have no income. But you know, boom, 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 we going back and forth.
Okay.
So now she getting a little weaker because that chemo starting to take
Hmm.
effect. She getting a little weaker, hair loss, different stuff like that. Now she go from walking full strength, having to use rails and all this weak. Now she in a wheelchair. Now we going to the doctor. She in a wheelchair.
Hmm.
So now it's like, oh man, like you starting to see the decline, and I'm still not really being emotional about it necessarily. I'm just still trying to, cause we still going chemo, doctor's appointment, you know what I mean?
Mhm. Mhm.
And so she had she couldn't finish the chemo because she got sick. Like her body her body couldn't take it no more.
Okay.
Because also my mom is a dialysis patient. She go to dialysis 3 times a week. So she doing chemo and dialysis 3 times a week.
And that can't be
And that's
for
a
your
lot on
body
your
to,
body. So
yeah.
her body couldn't take it no more. And then so she got kind of down. She had to go in a nursing facility to try to get her strength back up and stuff. And I remember round by Christmas 2023, I want to say, or 2022, something like that. She had went to the hospital
Mhm.
and for something, and she had caught pneumonia the same way that he did, and I was like, oh man,
Did that trigger anything like memory wise of how he had passed?
yeah, yeah, yeah. And I
Dang.
and I remember like the doctors was being pushy, trying to get me and my family to let her go to hospice because they knew that she couldn't finish her chemo, and they figured because she had pneumonia she was going to end up getting real sick. So they was trying to push me and my family. Now mind you, this like Christmas Eve when I get the call saying, hey,
Mhm.
we think you should let your mom go to hospice care, and just
Mhm.
pass away peacefully. This like Christmas Eve, bro. And they pushing. That's one thing that I learned. Them people do not care about you, bro.
Mm.
Like the doctor said, okay, after I told her we was gonna take a minute to the side, called me back like 2 days later and was like, hey, yeah, so what do you want to do? Like they pushing, like go ahead and
Right.
do it, like you know what I mean?
Right.
And so, but they asked my mom, they her so caseworker or whatever they call came in the room and asked my mama like, what do you want to do? My mom was like, I still want to live, like I'm young, like what you mean? So they was like, all right. So they sent she couldn't stay in the hospital. She went back to the nursing facility. But God bless her, bro. She regained her strength slowly. She started learning how to eat again herself, stuff like that. Cause all that was at one point was taken away from her. Like, and she's still here. God bless her, bro. God bless
That's crazy.
her. Yeah.
And so at the time of them, like the doctors and the
Mm-hmm.
people who's supposed to be treating her,
Mm-hmm.
at the time of them suggesting and recommending to push her into hospice,
Mm-hmm.
where was your mindset at? Mind you, you don't have a you at this time. You're not really working.
Right.
You ain't bringing no income in. And
Nah.
as a guy, I, I can't even tell you how much I relate to that aspect
Yeah.
of being the one who is slated to have to provide in that way or provide a big majority of that
Mm-hmm.
and not doing it or not being able to because of other things.
Yeah.
And don't forget, he's married or in a situation
Yeah.
at this time. So
Yeah.
it's not it's a lot going on. So what was your mental state in that time, and how did you ever, because at this point, for people that's listening to your story, they
Yeah.
like, bruh, solid, he don't never fold when it come to God.
Yeah.
But did this
Yeah.
make you feel like, God, I don't know,
That
I'll trust, I wasn't
yeah.
tripping,
That was the moment.
this was it,
That was the moment.
it took mama,
Yeah.
yeah.
Cause I thought I'm like in my mind, okay, I I came back from I was on the boat. That
Mm-hmm.
was my income at the time. I said I wasn't going back. Now I don't have a job. But I'm going, like I say, probably 3, 4 times a week. Honestly, bro, to be honest with you, I don't even know if I could have worked anywhere at the time because that's how
Right.
much we was going to the doctor.
That's what I'm saying. Like you
Yeah,
couldn't really work because of your
exactly.
responsibilities. You couldn't.
So let's just say I couldn't work.
Right.
I wasn't working and I couldn't work.
Mm-hmm.
And at this time, I'm praying, I'm reading, I feel like I'm
Yeah,
doing
yeah,
good.
yeah, yeah,
You
yeah.
know what I mean? Rent 1 month behind. I'm like, all right, Lord, I'm thinking I'm doing good. I'm being there for my mom. I'm thinking I'm doing good stuff. And I didn't heard testimonies about people saying that somebody just came and gave them the money they need for their rent and stuff like that. And I'm low key deceiving myself too, because I'm thinking I got faith. I'm deceiving myself. I'm like, yeah, I got faith. I believe God can do it. But the tighter things got, I really didn't. When it
Mm-hmm.
when it came down to the crunch, I really
Mm-hmm.
didn't. And so I remember I was like, all right, Lord, like you see this now.
Mm-hmm.
So the rent got 2nd month behind. I'm like, all right now. You know what I mean? I'm like, I need some. Like, what's up? Where you at? I ain't have no feeling, no hope from nowhere. I ain't feel like, well, maybe
No
they can look out.
sign, no
I
indication,
ain't
nothing.
have nothing. All I know is I'm doing my daily routine, which is my weekly routine at this point,
Yeah.
and I'm like, bro, I don't see where it's finna come from. I don't have an inkling, bro. So I'm getting upset, like low key at this point with God. I'm like, bro, like you need to let me know you with me or some. And that was that was the moment though. I was like mad at God, but I learned because it ended up working out. I never got put out of my apartment. Everything ended up getting caught back up. Mom's still here, doing good. So that's why I say I learned over time that I was ignorant for me to think that you can try to blackmail. You can't blackmail God, bro. That's what I was trying to do.
Gotcha.
You need to show me you rock with me, or what? You know what I
Right,
mean?
right,
That,
right,
but yeah, I had that
right.
moment, bro. Yeah,
Wow. Yeah. I don't know. I was trying to think of like where to go from that, but that's so insane. Because I'm sitting here thinking about if my mom was in the situation. I ain't talking about me already knowing she gonna make it out.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah,
And being in that and having to have faith or trust in God,
yeah.
believing that my stuff behind. Then I have my mom going through this. Then I got other people that's tied to me now, and I
Mm,
got all this going on all at once. It's like if I never ask you for nothing,
yeah.
I need something
I
now,
need it.
and I can get I get that that vantage point.
Yeah.
But what do you think allowed you to make it through that, or did you just look up one day and everything was fine? Like what you think allowed you to get to the point now where you like you were saying I grew in maturity and I understood. What helped you grow in in
Um.
that in that situation?
Yeah. It really was just like I said earlier, coming in, like hearing the word, get more into the word, understanding who God really is, and because like if like I said, I was ignorant, so I'm thinking because I'm doing good stuff, that just automatically mean that when I have a little need, God posts, and He will, but it don't always work like that.
Right,
You know what I mean?
right,
And so just and I started actually like opening up to people and sharing that situation because for a long time I wasn't sharing.
right.
Like I was just doing everything myself and
Mm-hmm.
just holding everything in for probably like
Wow.
it was like 3 4 months.
Mm-hmm.
Like before I actually told you and
Mm-hmm.
mom and dad and stuff like that. I was just holding everything in by myself. Wasn't talking to nobody. Whoever didn't know didn't know.
Yeah.
I was just going,
Yeah.
just pushing everything down, all my emotions, pushing everything down, just going. And when I finally started talking to people, people start, embracing me and love, showing me love. And then I was going. That's when I had came over to y'all church, and I started, just hearing different words, different messages, and stuff
Yeah.
like that. And so it was just people and understanding for real
Yeah. Over time,
over
you
time.
grew to
Yeah,
get to that place.
yeah,
And so this is the last thing I'm gonna ask you. So do you what? Obviously, it seemed like the the position of community in
yeah,
your life played a bigger part, kind of a little bit contradicting your personality.
yeah.
Not that you antisocial,
Right.
but you are very like I'll get it done
Yeah,
type of person.
yeah,
What is the significance of like the people around you that you know that like you talked about earlier that you value?
yeah.
What's the significance of those people in your life, and even for other people, letting them know how much they should value the people around them that's trying to be there for them, even if they don't agree how they're trying to be there for them. What do you think that played in your life, and how people should let that come into their life?
Yeah, I mean, it was huge because, like you said, the how I can be sometimes. Even if you can get it done by yourself, you got to ask yourself, do you have to? Do you
Mm,
have to take it all on? Yeah, you could. It's just like in basketball when everybody talk about Kobe. Yeah, you can take the last shot, but if somebody open in the corner,
do
do
you
you have
have
to
to?
take the last shot? Like so, even if you can take it on by
Mm,
yourself, because I'm a pretty strong individual,
mm,
like, but do you have to take it on by yourself? You got people around you that'll help you, even if they don't help you financially. Just to call you and say, "Yo, bro, you good?" Or just to come hang out and get you out the house.
mm,
Cause sometimes people like me, you might not know you need a a little day just to go
yeah.
hang out. Then you go hang out and you be like, "Boy, I needed that."
You don't know till you out there.
You don't know. But if you don't got nobody to call you and be like, man, let's go hoop. Let's go to the mall. Like sometimes you just need, and that was one of the reasons why I figured it out later. I ended up coming to y'all church. All it
Wow.
was internally I wanted to be around my family.
Yeah.
And I didn't cause I all I had was a feeling that I wanted to come over to y'all church.
Right.
And I remember when I went over there, and I think I had broke down that day, that
Mm-hmm.
Sunday. That's all it was. I just
Mm-hmm.
wanted to be around my family, like people that was like family to me. Not that the other church wasn't family, but y'all was more close
Yeah.
family.
Yeah.
That's all it was.
Wow.
I was longing to be around family. I needed some strength. I ain't know how to say I needed some strength, but that's all it was.
Mm,
So yeah, but when you do finally open up, it lessens your burden, bro.
mm-hmm.
It just takes some of that weight off. You don't have to carry 3,000 pounds. You know what I mean by
Yeah.
yourself.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah. So is there anything that you, because your story is crazy, bro.
yeah,
I know you lived it, so it feel like whatever.
yeah,
I'm telling you, bro. That's an insane, list of events that if I was to like, if people had to have the events, I would spread them out through people,
yeah,
through multiple people.
yeah,
But for one person to go through a lot of that, if I was God, I probably, you know what I mean. But
yeah,
but God know best. Um, what would you say to? What could you say to people to give them, you know, a perspective of you, or what they should do in a case where they feel weak because of the strength that you have showed in your life, or that you have had to show, not necessarily that because it was
right,
there, but the strength that God gave you,
yeah,
to go through, your life, what could you say to people about relying on God and relying on your community for them? Like people who feel like they got to do it by themselves, people who have always done it by themselves, either
Yeah,
by choice or by necessity.
yeah,
What could you tell them to let them know that God is with them and that people is, that they have a community that will help them?
yeah. I mean, man, don't just don't even look at it like you by yourself. Try to change your mindset first. That's
Change your perspective.
change
Yeah.
your perspective first. Cause if you look at it like you by yourself, that's how you gonna drive the ship. You gonna be saying the whole time, I gotta do this because ain't nobody gonna
Mm,
help. And I know I've been there.
yeah.
You will feel like that. So if I know it
Yeah.
sounds like a lot, but try to change your perspective. Even if it's just one person, try to see if you can get one person that you can depend on to be there just if you need them. You just see if you can get one person you can count on.
Yeah.
And just try to share a little bit. That be the main thing that get us, people like me. Hold everything in. Don't want to say nothing. Don't want just try to, man, today was a little rough. Oh, what happened? Man, and just
Mm-hmm.
doing that, it'll help you start to kind of ease some of that. Or if you can't find no person, talk to God, bro. Like people don't realize how much they can talk to God, just like how we. God will hear you, and He will talk back. He will talk back because just like I said, that was God dropping that inkling in my spirit to go just be around your family. Cause I'm trying to be
Yeah.
tough and trying to be hard. So, and I ain't gonna say it's easy, bro. People get
Right.
in that
Yeah.
mindset of carrying the load, and it's not hard. I mean, it's not easy to break that. But like, just try to talk to God for sure. I always talk to God. If you can't talk to nobody, talk to God. But try to find, like, say, one person, at the least one person that you can confide in, and
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. No, that's real. That's real.
yeah,
Um. Yeah. That's and sometimes like people like to hear like like when people preach and they be like uh turn your victory into turn your battle into triumph or something like some type of catchphrase that sound good.
yeah,
I don't You don't do that, and a lot of times people may shy away from listening to people who don't do that because they so used to hearing that from over a pulpit that
yeah,
sounds so cliche or it's so organized in that way, but real life ain't organized like that. And so like the way you saying it, it's more real is what
yeah,
I'm saying. It's so much more real, and I know a lot of people can like relate to it, and if they was listening they could apply it to their life because it's a lot of people who have to go through certain stuff by it, who feel like they have to go through certain stuff
yeah,
by themselves.
yeah,
um but you don't have to do that. You don't have to be in a situation where you are taking care of things alone, because what the whole point that God sent his son was the an example of that.
yeah,
If we could handle it by ourselves, he wouldn't have sent them.
exactly.
You know what I mean? And I think that that's a mirror to what we should be doing. Like, see if you feel like that in your life, like he said, you need to find that one person.
Yeah,
You it only take like one person, and they would be that support, a cane under you to
hmm,
kind of support you, or a wheelchair to kind of help you push along. And sometimes you might even need to help somebody else.
yeah,
Like being there for somebody, it releases, like scientifically, it releases toxins in us that make us feel better. And so being there for somebody else can benefit you as well. But nah, that your story crazy, bro. And I appreciate you get, because I don't know if you ever just said all that in the span of an hour and a half before.
bro. I never even. looked at it like this. Like
Right.
when you mentioning the story, I'm sitting here in real time, like that's
Right.
and I just be glazing through stuff, not even
Right.
thinking about it.
Right.
So yeah, that's crazy.
Right. Yeah, that's like kind of like the point of this. Like it's supposed to be like a twofold thing
Yeah,
or like a trifold thing. Like I want the people who are watching to get some out of it that they can relate to and apply. I want the people who I'm talking to be
yeah,
able to see their long life like this.
right,
And then I want to take some. Selfishly, I do. I
right,
want to be able to benefit from what I'm listening to.
yeah,
And then from the feedback that they saying and seeing the connect to where people like, man, that I ain't gonna lie, when you had Bro on, that helped me.
yeah,
So hopefully y'all see Ike on another he might have a
yeah.
podcast himself. He ain't no social media dude, but he
Might be,
yeah, he might be.
might be. Hey, can
Yeah.
I say one more thing
Yeah,
though?
yeah.
I'm gonna say this. This is a camera shot.
Mm-hmm.
Also, bro, the people that go through stuff, everybody love to say, "Oh, God give His battles to the toughest soldiers," or
Mm-hmm.
whatever the little cliche saying.
Mm-hmm.
But it's for you to help other people, bro. The
Mm.
stuff that you go through, I hate it, but it's not just for you. It's not to sit on it. It's to help other people. So the strong
Uh
people that go through stuff, share because it helps other people.
hmm.
So I wanted to add that too.
Yeah. So you saying like if you go through certain things that you feel like it's like, man, why I have to go through it? The why
It's for help somebody
is
else.
for later.
Yeah,
That's
it's to
crazy.
help somebody else. And that
Eh,
sucks sometimes. To know that
I was just finna say that.
sucks, but it's real.
That suck.
It sucks.
It seems almost like, man, you playing with me. But I I I believe the payoff is better.
Yeah,
I believe it may not look better until you do it, and then when you do it, you're like, oh, this is why I'm here.
yeah,
This was some of my purpose. Um, yeah, that's crazy to. It's sometimes it can be crazy to accept, but that's real.
yeah, yeah.
That's real. Yeah. All right. I appreciate you.
I
I
appreciate
appreciate you,
you,
bro.
bro.
Yeah.
Appreciate this for sure.
All right.